What kind of country has mountains like the Alps, food as rich as Italy's, wine older than France, and still flies under the radar? Sounds made up, but it's real. Tucked between Europe and Asia, Georgia isn't loud or flashy. It doesn't beg for attention. It earns it. With every mountain pass, every ancient church, every home-cooked meal, it leaves a mark. This isn't just travel. It's something deeper. The kind of place you don't just visit, you feel. And once it's in your bones, it stays there. So if you're ready for raw beauty and real stories, stick around. And if this vibe speaks to you, hit subscribe to Nomadic Compass. We bring you the places that still have soul. Georgia feels like a real-life storybook. There are charming places. And then there's Georgia. This isn't just charming. It feels enchanted. Like you've wandered into a story that's still being written. In Georgia, legends aren't locked in museums or dusty books. They're alive, whispered in markets, etched into church walls, echoed through mountain passes. Walk through Tbilisi's old town and it hits you. There's texture here. Sulfur baths steam under moonlight, tucked between crumbling facades and wooden balconies that lean over winding alleys. The scent of bread baking wafts through the air. You hear laughter around every corner. Real, hearty, unfiltered. This city doesn't feel staged for tourists. It feels lived in, layered. Like every brick has a story, and every street corner holds a secret. And the best part? That fairy tale feeling doesn't stop at the city limits. The mountains will knock you breathless. If you think you've seen mountains, think again. Georgia's peaks don't just rise, they roar. They don't sit in the background like postcards. They surround you, swallow you whole, and then gift you peace in return. There's a wildness here, a silence that humbles you. Head to Kazbegi. The road there is a thrill in itself. Hairpin turns, clouds so low they brush your window, cliffs that drop into green valleys. And then you arrive. Mount Kazbek stands like a god in stone. The Drageti Trinity Church clings to the hillside like it was carved by myths, not men. And then there's Sveneti, remote, rugged, and impossibly beautiful. Towering defensive stone towers rise above alpine villages wrapped in fog. Trails wind through glacial valleys and over rivers fed by snowmelt. You don't just hike here, you disappear into the landscape. These aren't views you snap for Instagram and forget. These are the ones that make you sit in silence and realize how small and lucky you really are. The food is a warm hug that lasts. In Georgia, food isn't just something you eat. It's something you feel, deep, warm, and personal. It's comfort wrapped in tradition. It's centuries of culture served on hand-carved wooden tables, in clay pots, with no rush and no rules. Meals are slow, loud, generous. They're meant to be shared. And when you sit down to eat here, you're not just a guest. You're part of the moment. Start with kakapuri, that iconic bread boat, overflowing with melted cheese and crowned with a golden egg yolk. Tear the sides, swirl it in. Take a bite. It's gooey, rich, and unforgettable. Then there's kinkali, giant soup-filled dumplings you grab by the top, slurp carefully, and devour. It's messy, it's primal, it's perfect. But that's just the beginning. Try lobio, a slow-cooked bean stew heavy with garlic and herbs, served with pickles and cornbread. Dig into dishes drenched in walnut sauces. Taste herbs like tarragon, coriander, and dill used not as decoration, but as essence. Add a dollop of spaciagica, and suddenly the meal has bite, energy, life. And then there's the wine. Georgia didn't just perfect it, they invented it. Over 8,000 years ago, they began fermenting wine in massive underground clay jars called kfevri. And they're still doing it that way today. The result? Wine that's unfiltered, wild, and soulful. It doesn't taste manufactured. It tastes alive, like history in a glass. The people will treat you like family. There's hospitality. And then there's Georgia. You won't feel like a tourist here. You'll feel like a long-lost cousin who finally came home. Georgians don't do small talk. They do toasts. They do laughter that fills rooms. They do generosity without hesitation. Strangers invite you in for dinner before they know your last name. They share food, wine, and stories with the kind of open-hearted warmth that can't be faked. And it's not just a one-time thing. It's everywhere from the countryside to the capital. Whether it's a taxi driver insisting you try his homemade chaka, travel feels free and easy here. Tired of cities that drain your wallet and leave you underwhelmed? Georgia flips the script. This is one of the few places left where you can have authentic, incredible experiences without spending a fortune. Meals cost a fraction of what you'd pay elsewhere. Transportation. Hop on a marshrutka, those shared minibuses, and find yourself in a remote village surrounded by peaks. Guest houses are cozy, warm, and cost next to nothing. And the value isn't just in money, it's in freedom. You don't need a 6-month plan or a fat budget. Just curiosity, an open heart, and maybe a phrase or two in Georgian. Those smiles work just fine. Georgia gives generously to every traveler, and it asks for nothing but respect in return. Old meets new in the coolest ways. Georgia wears its history with pride, but it's not stuck in it. This is a place where ancient monasteries overlook modern art galleries, where 12th century castles sit next to cafes buzzing with live jazz, where a 1,000-year-old church might be around the corner from a streetwear pop-up or a techno club in an old Soviet warehouse. Tbilisi is the heart of this contrast. One moment you're walking down cobbled alleys past Persian-style bathhouses. The next, you're sipping a craft cocktail in a minimalist rooftop bar. The blend doesn't feel forced, it feels authentic, because Georgia isn't trying to be cool. Nature hits you right in the heart. In Georgia, nature isn't just scenery, it's an emotion. You don't just look at it, you feel it. Deep in your chest. In the quiet forests of Borjomi, where the air smells like pine and history. In the turquoise waters of Martvili Canyon, where light bounces off moss-covered rocks like magic. In Lagodeki, where trails wind through untouched wilderness to hidden waterfalls. Or on the Black Sea coast in Batumi, where the waves crash against modern city lights and subtropical trees sway with rhythm. Everywhere you go, nature calls you to slow down, to stop scrolling, to breathe, to be. It's not shouting for your attention. It's offering you something better. Authenticity, beauty, depth. A place where time slows down, where food is made with love, and where strangers become family. Go now, before the world catches on. Go before the quiet turns into cues. Go while Georgia is still yours to discover. If this story moved you, if you're hungry for more adventures that hit just as deep, then subscribe to Nomadic Compass. We'll keep taking you to places that don't just fill your passport, but your soul. Thanks for watching.